Hello, guys. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students who are preparing for FRM and CFA exam. I'm back with one of my students' interview who has been able to clear the exam for FRM Level 2 in this May 2023 attempt. This was his first attempt. And he's going to be talking about his journey of preparing for the FRM exam and how he was able to manage and clear the exam. So we have with us Sachin. Sachin, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And this is your second interview. So you did the same for level one. Now, if you can give a brief about yourself in the sense when you cleared level one and slight about your work.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. And I think this was one of those motivation. Always while we prepare that there would be a day when we get this forum to have a conversation, like share our journey. So it has been inspiring to hear a lot of such interviews on YouTube. And I think throughout my journey of FRM, this is something which I've always done. Heard many people journey and how they prepare and what should we do, what should we not do. So because there's so much of curriculum available in the market, I think it gets difficult for one person who is to refer to everything and all that. And this forum
Correct.
was something which I personally used a lot throughout my level one and level two, hearing others' voice of preparing. To just give a little introduction about myself, so I work in this company, which is venture capitalist fund, where I head the risk, which is portfolio risk management. So I'm the vice
Mhm.
president there. And this is little late in my career that I've picked up this FRM journey, and I could see that there are a lot of those technical stuff which gets used in day to day, and I need to upgrade my knowledge. And FRM was the closest in my research that I could come up with certain topics which will help me cement my knowledge, and also
Great.
what is happening. And I think FRM was the right forum. Glad that I picked it up and now cleared also. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, when did you started your preparation for level two? Which month?
So, like momentum was so high after I cleared my level one. That was last May 2022 is when I appeared for level one. And after getting the result, the momentum and the tempo was so high that I wanted to do something. It was like every day a little unrest, saying that what am I doing? Why I'm not studying after that exam? And I think I got
Okay.
in touch with you to try and understand that should we start looking at immediately preparing for level 2, and but mind and the heart was saying wait for the result to come and then you can start doing it. So I picked up level 2 after the result, and in that period I just was trying to reflect upon my journey and what went well and what things need to be improved for level 2. So July last year is somewhere I started this journey in
Mhm.
smaller baby steps to understand that what is a curriculum. And we all know that the curriculum is so vast with 96 to 100 chapters. There's no better way to start early and ensure that momentum is still high. So yes, I
Mhm.
started picking up little earlier. So July, mid or end of July, I remember that I started some chapters.
Okay. Okay. And then what was the order of preparation? Which book did you pick up?
I think I followed your planner. Market risk was something which was you could connect well with the level one. All the
Mhm.
topics which we could connect with level one is something which I picked it up. So market risk, if I remember, followed by some chapters of credit risk and some of the liquidity risk.
Okay. Okay. And what was the time commitment in the initial few months? And did
Um,
that time commitment increase?
Yeah, so time commitment is something which I've spent a lot more hours than level one, to be very honest. If
Mhm.
I look back, um, uh, 2 to 3 hours every day was something which I was contributing. Yes, there were two big gaps in my whole of this 8 to 9 months of study, where some Diwali I didn't study for almost 2 weeks, didn't look at, and then there was one more vacation which I took where I didn't look at the books for almost 10 days. Apart from that, I think consistently 2 to 3 hours every day is something which I was spending.
Okay. And when did you complete your overall full reading of the content first time?
First time was Jan mid. I completed all the chapter once. Jan mid, yes, I did.
Okay. And then you started solving the question bank
Then I
after that.
started solving, and again a read of the Schweitzer text. So because the curriculum is so vast that it's quite difficult to remember all of that, and I felt the need of looking at. Reading the chapter and then looking at question banks per chapter.
Okay. And how much time did that took for you to complete all the chapter-based questions?
Um, I think May was the exam. April I completed. So the Jan half month, Feb, March, I completed again the whole question bank and all 96. And my number of hours went really high because now I had like 2.5 months to redo 96 chapter reading again, and I
Hmm.
ensured that I'm not going through the video, because video of course takes a lot more hours. Reading the Schweitzer chapter again and then attempting a question bank, I know some level of biasness comes in terms of you reading and then attempting, but it's more about is this helping you remember a little longer. So I did that,
Okay.
and the last month I did one more round of Schweitzer read, and this was end to
Oh,
end again. That was challenging. I would say is one almost I had like 30 days left, and last 10 days I was very clear that I would want to spend for mock test, and I need to end. And then I prepared my own calendar, that what if I have to do reread again. And yeah, I think I did it. The three full read I did for the level two.
okay. Okay. And how many mock papers did you solve?
Four, two of your institution, and there were two GARP papers.
Carb sample paper. What was the average score you were getting in those mocks?
Honestly, I was not very happy overall in terms of the level of effort, the journey which I had taken. I was very, very determined this time, level two. And of course, I had this partner again. That makes a trick. My partner, I think I rate him as most intelligent guy. And my benchmark was like his energy. He's younger than me, much younger than me. Can I meet his was the only thing, and I tried looking at what I need to do. I know my strength, which was hard work, so I ensured that I
Hmm.
put more hours. But at the
Hmm.
end, if I look back, that was something which I wanted to motivate myself and say, all right, can I put this third reading again? And that's what I did.
Okay.
But to answer your question on mock, I for the first mock I scored 48 out of 80. This sorry 44 out of 80, and the second mock was
Okay.
48. That's when the
Okay.
confidence got boosted, and because that's when you come to know whether you are floating or this is not enough or not, because you put in like 6 to 7 months of effort, you really are not sure what is your level. So that's the last month, and I was nervous on my first mock to just be relieved that yes, I will clear the marks if this is more than 45 total. So anywhere around that 65% correct was I was aiming at. And then GARP was again a different experience, the two mocks. But I knew that it's less of the score, but the language and the pattern, how they ask these questions,
Mhm.
will allow me to relax my nerves in during the exam days. So I was little relaxed because this was PDF version of the paper also. But I think I did well on the first GARP mock, which was 52.
Okay.
um,
Wow. Okay.
out of 80. And then um, um, last mock was GARP was even more tougher. So my score dropped to somewhere around 46 or 45, if I remember clearly.
Okay. And then when you were doing till this point, which was the book that you felt slightly tougher as compared to the other books?
Um, uh, I mean, all the interviews and all the versions, we heard operational risk as the most difficult. Honestly, I didn't find that difficult because of the number of years of experience which I have now. I
Hmm.
could relate this more than any other book. It was less of an content which you have to remember. It was because you have been practicing this. I could say that it almost became a general knowledge to you, and say, all right, you can solve this with your some experience already. But because I completed my curriculum before GARP changed the curriculum, I think there were 10 odd chapters of operational risk which got deleted, and newer chapter got added. So even my second round of reading operational book was almost new to me, even in that
Hmm.
second round, because a chunk of those chapter got deleted and newer got added. Newer curriculum, I was even more happier. I think I could relate it much stronger.
Yes.
That first 6 hour meant for fundamentals and so on, and then I could group that. To answer your question again on what was the most difficult, honestly, I'm quite neutral on all. The easiest which I found was liquidity risk, where I didn't score
Okay.
so on my quartile.
Third
Uh,
quartile. Yes.
but current issue also was easier because these are some topics which you are aware of, whether it's
Hmm.
blockchain or AI or ML. Um, um, I had a background, so I understand this little. So
Right.
issue was easy also.
Perfect. Now, when you went to the exam, okay. Okay. One more question before. How was the curriculum for level one and level two different as per your experience?
They shouldn't call this level one and level two. I think both are at par. In fact, level one,
Okay.
if was much difficult because there are newer concepts which you have not been practicing, and you have to learn that
Hmm.
concept should be very clear.
Okay.
And I'm glad that I put equal amount of effort in level one. The concepts were very clear. There was nothing that we had to revise again. And I did had that notes ready with me for level one also. I was periodically looking at connecting it to level one. But level one is the most important part of that journey. So if you do that, I think 60-65% you should be confident that you will clear the level two. Level two comes with different challenges. Clearly, for the vast amount of curriculum and testing your character for that long to study was the only thing which I found it a little difficult.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you went to the exam, on the day of the exam, uh, what has been your experience? What happened in that day?
Um, Again, everything what I was doing to relax my nerve. First is this exam center was walkable from where I stay, so I ensured that I see that building twice already, and I know that where I would be going. I know how and what mode of transport I would be taking. So I just wanted to keep less of the surprises that morning, because then you can focus on giving that exam.
Right.
And I decided what I will eat and so on. So these were all pre-decided. So I was pretty relaxed on the day. Uh, the appointment was first in the morning, so of course they don't open the center. My level one center, of course, I gave it in different country, and this was again in different country. This was much bigger a center. During the exam, something which I was not very comfortable is this papers. I was so used to writing on paper. They didn't give me paper and pen. They gave me a whiteboard,
Ah,
and that made me little uncomfortable because I was not used to writing formula on my paper with sketch pens. These are like this big. So that experience actually made me a little uncomfortable that moment and say, this is not what I was expecting. And then I tried relaxing. I said, okay, I promise I will write only one formula on one slate and then go to
Hmm.
this next slate and not rub it. I was trying to relax there, and but this was one thing which was bothering me entire exam, that you were not ready to not have the hard paper and pen, but this sketch pen, which is like slate, writes big. Some of our formulas quite complex to write it on that slate.
Okay. Okay. And then when you started solving, what happened when it was very tough, very difficult, and what was the paper?
Exam was not tough. I think I over prepared in my mind, tackled a lot of those complex problems for, say, unexpected losses and different formulas, different versions of it. That's something which, if I have to look back, I think all students should not do that. Stick to the curriculum. Don't worry about complex things. Those would not turn up in the exam. Even if that turns up, it
Hmm.
doesn't defeat your flow. All these questions were easy. I think what I was not getting my answer. So lot of these numerical, I was not
Hmm.
getting my answers. And 6, 7, 8, I can easily count on credit risk. Was easy, but I could not get the answer. I did 4, 5 times, and that led to some level of frustration and irritation at that moment, and say, I know this, I can't skip, and I wanted to attempt again and again. In that
Right.
journey, I think I was short of little time, because some of these questions I attempted even 3, 4 times, and then I was not getting the answers.
Okay. Got it. And how many theory, how many calculations was there in your exam?
Out of 80, I think 65 were theory, 15 odd were the numerical. But these were straightforward. None of these questions were that different. I think GARP question mock papers are quite important. Um,
Hmm.
Till I remember, I think few got repeated out of that also, because these were looking
Gotcha.
quite familiar from your question bank and some of those GARP. That experience actually helps. So everyone should do 4 mock. There's no way that you can skip any of the mock.
Right. Right. And then when you came out of the exam, were you confident that uh, I'll be able to clear the exam?
No, I was disappointed. And generally, whatever is, you carry that same impression after the exam also. These 7 to 8 exercise question, which I knew were the approach, at least I knew. I was not getting the answer. I was disappointed at the end of it. I
Right.
wasn't sure again, but I kept asking. The impression of these 4 mock which I gave, I think I knew that this is almost at that same level, because most of these mock also, I had some of this and say, shucks, I could have done better this time.
Right.
Or so, yeah, at back of the mind, I thought I should be clearing, but was a disappointed a bit.
Okay. Cool. Now, when the results are out, you got very good quartiles in all the book except on liquidity risk. So wonderful performance. Now, if I ask you finally, if you can give few tips from your side, how to prepare for level two and what things to be careful about.
Yeah, I think this in our preparation, one thing carried down with level 1 and level 2 is aim at the best, which is how can you get quartile 1? That should be
Hmm.
your aim. At the end, if you think these are good score, my score, I wanted 1 in all. In fact, I just got 1 in 1. My partner Masoom got 1 in all except one book. So of course he did at that expectation. But I think this the higher goal actually helps you clear or create an edge much better than any other. So if you have that
Hmm.
impression that I want to pass and all that, there would be 1 or 2 books which you would
Can go down.
not clear, and that moment can you can call yourself unlucky if you get 3 3 in, say, easier books, and you might not clear. So I think this is one tip which I would give to everyone is aim higher, and ensure that. And in level two, I can tell you that even if you get one book or one book where you get first quartile, you easily will pass. Or even two books you get quartile one, you will clear. I
Very good
think
chances that you clear. Yes.
you will clear that. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect, Sachin. I mean, this conversation is going to be really helpful for a lot of students preparing in the future. They will watch the interview, they'll get motivated, and they will understand the way you have prepared. And your journey for both level one and level two has been exceptional because after a years of experience, you have come, you've started the journey of preparation of FRM. You succeeded in both the levels in first attempt. So definitely, it's going to be really interesting and motivating for other students to look at your journey and your performance and start their own preparation also for the exam. So thank you very much for taking out time, Sachin.
Thank you, sir, for mentoring and motivating at every step. I think you go through a lot as a journey, as a family. So yeah, mentorship also helps. So thank you so much for all your help which you have lent.
Thank you. Thank you.